deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Because you always used to active when defenders, I think, it's like. Because you always used to active when defenders, I think, it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Thank you very much for that, Ian. Right now, it is 7:23 p.m. in the United Kingdom on the 24th of the 1st of January. There's still no players signed for Arsenal Football Club. There has been movement. You know, we've seen a couple of young lads' loans get kind of cancelled. You know, we've seen Mika Beref come from Scotland and go back on loan. We've seen Omar Rekic end his loan spell at Wigan. Tyrese John Jules, my guy, what a player he is if he stays fit and whatnot. His extension at Derby has been extended, but where the first team's concerned, where players that can aid us in terms of winning the Premier League or, you know, mounting a serious sustained title challenge, the same goes where the Champions League is concerned, there's been no impending players. Now, can we really blame ourselves? Again, what the club put into the press or what we're told in the press is very different from what the club is trying to do, but we've all been told that there won't be any signings, that the club won't force the needle out in terms of signings, and that we're working with serious FFP restrictions. Now, should we be in this FFP mess, people? Big up whoever you are for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I actually do that with my hands every time I say that. But yeah, man, you know, it is kind of disappointing. I know FFP and Arteta are happy with his squad and this, that, and the third. Me personally, I think he could be happy with how the squad is assembling, but there's no way in God's green earth he could be happy with how the squad's assembled. Me personally, I think there's too much faith in certain players that are too hot and cold. I think, quite simply put, I don't think there's any bad players in our team, but just some players just ain't got it in them, you know. And I do think Mikel Arteta and Edu have done great business, but to a degree, people, they've been very naive. You know, you've got two strikers up there who have got a lot of time for Jesus, and big up Eddie in terms of goals, don't have the pedigree. We, you know, if anybody gets injured, we have an inability to kind of cope with injuries past a certain point, and you're praying there's no more injuries with key players. Obviously, I don't want to make it about Kai Havertz, but if we knew that we was treading close in hindsight to FFP, we've got a cheaper midfielder that is more of an upgrade on Granit Xhaka or more closely aligned on that left-hand side, and then got a Kudus or something like that, so that we could take people like Bukayo Saka out the team. These are all just hypotheticals, really and truly. So it is what it is. Don't forget to smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. We're going to get into everything. It will be a slightly smaller show, but I didn't feel comfortable not going live with you lot today. It didn't feel right. Shout out in the circle. I mean, he's never optimistic, but he's, you know, where DG Nation is, he is. Top 4 merchants can't even get a cut run. In the circle, you know me. I'm 28. In the circle's older than me. American Gunners or Gooner on Twitch is older than me, but I'm 28. And for me, anyways, growing up, I've seen my team win league titles. I've seen us do it at Tottenham. I've seen us do it at Old Trafford. I've seen us go invincible and things of that ilk. But the cups, and I do think fans, younger fans than me, are a bit snooty when it comes to the cup. The League Cup, I hear it. Me personally, I want to win everything. I don't feel Arsenal have any divine right to throw away cups. We ain't done what Liverpool or City have done. I think when you've got this young and impressionable team, any sort of cups you can amass is great. I think when you look at the amount of players that actually compete or play in the Premier League, the Champions League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, and so on and so forth, how many actually win it? And I know our players are quote unquote young and our managers quote unquote young, but at some point their career is going to blink like that. Like, I'm 28. I can remember being 18. I'm bordering on 30. I thought this was 20 million years away. Their career is going to be over like that. And it's moments like that. And because we flirted with it. We've won 2 English Super Cups, Community Shield. We've won an FA Cup. But we need to do a bit better there, man, really and truly. Big up DG. They're burying you in the AEL Go Rhythm. They're burying you in the algorithm, but still appreciate the consistent hard work and content. We just got to find a way to break the algorithm, man. Journey to 70,000 subs is still alive and kicking. If you haven't liked, comment, and subscribed, what are you doing? Something very fishy about both Havertz and Mount. Very suspicious. Chelsea just able to flog their crap in it, and you know, in life, if there's suckers, there's obviously people who are going to buy the lies. And, you know, if Kai Havertz can show us that, you know, you can look like a Michael Ballack or a Schweinsteiger, then we're laughing. But at this moment in time, a blind man could see Kai Havertz to Arsenal we're not going to get to where we need to get to with that. I'm at the point where I think Havertz is settled. Does he move the needle? Do I think there's a contrast with someone who plays like Granit Xhaka? Xhaka gets on the ball. He goes left back at times. He makes those third man runs. I think Martinelli misses that. I think Zinchenko has missed that. I think there's a big hole that Arteta has not only not addressed, but made it even bigger off his own back, really and truly. And you've got to justify signings like that. Like, depending on what Arsenal fan you speak to, you're going to get a series of different questions as to where Kai Havertz's best position is. Me personally, I don't know. I think I would like another midfielder, but I think you look quote unquote settled in that 8 role. Would I like to explore maybe Jorginho coming in there, maybe Smith Rowe getting an opportunity, potentially Odegaard going in there and someone filling in 10? 100%. Arteta's going to have to eat that one, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you. And again, you know, Man United, who knows? Kai Havertz amount might look a lot better if the clubs were in a better state, but, you know, no one put a gun to these people's heads to buy these players. We're doing stupidness, really and truly. Big up yourself, Marcel. I haven't read the comment yet, but I know you're saying some idiot stuff. You really are deluded. I promise you, if I had £1 for every time I heard you really are deluded or you're not so deluded, Arsenal's transfer window would be on me, and we would get Osimhen and Ivan Toney. It would be lit, people. But big up yourself, man. Smash the like button. And you say you never walk alone. Early February, make sure we don't beat you like the Emirates, because you've been talking a lot of nonsense. I don't want to see you run. I need to see Smith Rowe this week's game. Put Kai on splinters for the start, in my opinion. I don't know. It's a weird one, because where you look at Nottingham Forest, yeah, and stuff like that, and you know, Havertz weren't terrible against Crystal Palace, but it's another one where you ain't really done anything. All the players are head and shoulders above you. And, you know, just on the basis of Smith Rowe wants the ball, he's going to turn, he's going to do things like he looks litter than you. But I do expect Nottingham Forest next Tuesday, which we'll be doing a watch along. I do expect it to be, like Matt Turner would say, a dogfight. I do expect it to be a physical one. And Havertz does make fouls. He does put a shift in. Dangerous territory when you're praising players for that. He does bring a lot of height. I don't know if it's the right game for Jorginho, because it's a very hit and miss one, really. Jorginho seems to do better away from home in big and at home in big games when we're playing the bigger teams, the Liverpools, the Cities, Newcastles, etc. Chelsea, he was a bit of a passenger along with Zinchenko in the first half at Stamford Bridge, and that scarred me. I don't think he'll get an opportunity, but, you know, Smith Rowe, he's got a reason to, a selfish reason, beyond the obvious, to want to perform in a game like that, really and truly. And I guess there's a lot of question marks. Some would say maybe, you know, and big up Troops and Dan. We did a stream on Troops' channel. Go and check that out. But Troops made a point, and he's like, when you look at Raya, the mistakes he's made have actually been away from home. Now, I think he got away with it against City. I think he could have done better against Spurs, for example. But I think that holds weight. So is there potential logic with Aaron Ramsdale coming in? I think I speak for most Arsenal fans when we say probably don't expect that to be the case, or him to get a look in that regards. Again, I don't think anyone would play around with the centre halves. Benjamin White will play. If Zinchenko's fit, then it is what it is. We'd love to have Timber and Tomiyasu for games like that. Some are even saying drop Bukayo Saka and on form, yeah. But for me, I'm probably going to go with Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. Trossard doesn't deserve to be dropped. I know Odegaard and Rice will be there. So I'd say the only question marks really for me would be Kai Havertz's position. And if you let Trossard start and then bring Martinelli fresh legs on, or does Martinelli start? It's the one where you wish you could play 12 players, really and truly. Yeah, big up DG. Did you get hold of Jess? She said she wants to do a stream with you. Cool, man. Just relax, man. She got my number. Like, it's brewing, man. It's brewing. And big up to We Are Ajax. Make sure you're checking them out on YouTube, people. You lot wouldn't know because I've gone live, but literally just before this, I spent about 40 minutes recording a video with them, asking them about Joel Hatto, asking them about Brian Brobley, asking them about Zerky, asking them about Timber, etc., etc. We even touched on Ten Hag. You know how to get the United slander. I'll never hide, win, lose, or draw. I'm on the front lines. You must win, or the title race is over. You lot in the title race. And Marcel, I've seen you leave when I've done a lot of live streams in relation to Liverpool. No, mate, United and Arsenal bought pre-used goods on some CEX thing. Well, we zanged ourselves. Listen, if you buy Havertz, you zanged yourself. You done that to yourself. Everyone could see that, you know, he's not going to be the guy. And I must admit, with Kai Havertz, it has to go well. Arteta has to make it work because he spent 65 million quid on him. But you could see he's not going to get out of it. And a lot of the things we say about Kai Havertz, if you was 18, 19, 20, I'd kind of have time for it, really. But we don't know your best position. You need a bit of love. We don't know if you're going to be consistent. This is long. And if we've got this young team, Kai Havertz, I look at Kai Havertz, I've said it before, at the point of signing for this club, I look at you in the same vein I looked at Odegaard, Declan Rice, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, young to midish 20 players with a wealth of experience. Havertz a Champions League winner. He needs to look like that on the pitch, really. Because it's a madness, really. Nah, we're live, Riley. We're live. If it was pre-recorded, it wouldn't be on Twitch, man. It wouldn't be on Twitch. Twitch, drop it. Wow, why have we lost so many followers on Twitch? We're at 7660. Hey, well, fuck them if they left, man. Big up you lot that are still here, innit? DG, how will this Havertz story go? In my opinion, I think he'll stay for another season, then we'll try and terminate his contract, but you can't terminate that. It is what it is. Like, boy, I don't know what to tell you. More of the same, really and truly. We just have to hope for great moments. If Arsenal get to the way I want them to go and they make certain changes and like we get, you know, we've got Declan Rice, another number 6, another 8. I would actually like 2 8s, really and truly. Then super sub, adaptable player, can do your thing, really and truly. Arsenal fans kill me, though. They'll tell you Havertz is playing good. Like, how off the copium do you have to be? The bar's on the floor with Havertz, man. If we cut the crap, the bar is on the floor. It's on the absolute floor. City ground away, threat of point deduction, so the crowd is going to be crazy. Potentially no Rice with a hamstring injury could be Pete. Rice will be there, man. He's tough as old boots, man, and we're going to need him. And if Rice isn't there and there's a knock-on effect, then Mikel Arteta, in the same way I praise you for certain aspects of assembling the squad, you have to hold yourself accountable, really and truly. The depth isn't quite good. We're a bit shy up front. Anything happens to defensive options. You got to remember, a few weeks ago, Arteta was literally telling us, you know what, Declan Rice might have to play centre-half. And if Declan Rice goes centre-half, in isolation, I don't have an issue with it, but the fact that I don't want to see that, who the hell is in midfield? I like Jorginho, but certain games, Kai Havertz, we're discussing him, it's very lightweight. Thomas Partey, we hope he gets fit, but when Partey gets fit, is he able to stay fit? I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. And me personally, where we talk about when this guy's fit, when that guy's fit, when this guy's back, when that guy's back, I can't speak for every Arsenal fan. But me, it feels like we're watching the same movie, expecting different things. I don't know anything, though, man. We have to accept what Kai is unaffected. Sorry, we have to accept what Kai is, unaffected player who will have his moments twice every 10 games. It's probably like with the Havertz thing, it's like you play centre mid, you do well. Then when you play crap, we say you're something else. You go there in that position, wherever it is, you play well. Then you play crap. We say it's not you. Then you play as a striker. You play well there. Then you play crap. Then it continues and continues. And the thing is with Havertz, it's high risk, high reward. 65 million. Chelsea probably couldn't even believe their luck that they were going to get only 5 mil off what they initially paid. And they'll probably say, you know what? German international, he won us the Champions League. We'll take that hit. We'll make that on another player, you know, with their farm. It is what it is, man, really. Havertz is playing at 50% and it's all physical. The other 50%, footballing is somewhere. We shouldn't be carrying a guy that needs unlocking. That's the issue. We got too many of them, bro. Like, I like Havertz, but he's a carry job. I like Smith Rowe. He's a carry job. I like Gabriel Jesus. In terms of scoring, you're one of them. Eddie Nketiah, you're very hot and cold. Fabio Vieira, you're very hot and cold. How many guys are going to do this thing for 28 of the 38 Premier League games or even 30? Because that's what Liverpool have 9 times out of 10. That's what City's got. You probably count on one hand. I know his form's been crap. I'll throw Saka in there. Gabriel, one of the most disrespected players at Arsenal Football Club and in the Prem and in world football. I'm not saying he's the biggest and baddest, and he will make mistakes. He has made mistakes, but he's minimized those bozo genes and he's an effing good centre-half. William Saliba, don't know if I've said Declan Rice. I bet on them. If I'm going to war, whether he scores goals or not, Jesus, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard in his own way, you kind of guys, I'm here for it. Bar that, it's Timber fit, Benjamin White. Beyond that, I'm like, but I've said maybe 10 players max of a 20-man squad with 38 games in the Prem, and we can't do it, but X amount if you go to the League Cup from start to finish, the FA Cup the same, and the Champions League. We've been here, man. 60 mil down the drain, best song of the decade. It's a madness, man. It's an absolute madness. And the thing is, Arteta, he's gonna have to. Well, I swear he dropped Havertz at times in the season, but like it's a political signing. You've got to justify that 65 million. You know, I think if you look at Edu, Arteta, and the many people around them in the boardroom that make the decisions at Arsenal, I think when Timber's name was thrown and you were shown stuff, people were like, yeah, get that done. I think Declan Rice, the same. The only thing they could have said is, he's going to cost a lot of money, but the quality offsets that. Kai Havertz, it must have been divided. There must have been some people with thoughts like us, like, are you sure, Arteta? Edu himself, maybe Arteta, but then Arteta, listen, Arteta, this is why I look at Arteta with this Havertz thing a bit crazier, in my opinion, because I don't think you woke up and said, let me sign Kai Havertz. I think you lot were talking for weeks and months. I think you were showing him and Havertz personally, Edu, and everyone, you know, how I can improve him individually, what he can do individually in the short, medium, and long term, and obviously collectively as part of the squad to justify that 65 million. So you have to hold that. because I know signings go wrong and stuff, but every time it's like we're kind of doing all right with signings. We then do a madness. Like, I'm here for Fabio Vieira. I think he's got a lot of question marks, but I like him. If it don't work out, obviously I don't know if you're going to get your 30 million back, but 30 million we can maneuver. We can get around that. 3 million on Marquinhos, who looks anything but Brazilian, like a Brazilian winger. We can get around that. 65 million now. Boy, I don't know anything. Don't worry, lad. Kai can never be worse signing than Ndombele. We know Kyrgios isn't that good, if at all, at left back. If Rice had to play centre back ahead of him, we might as well sell him in this window. I hear that. Apparently, us, Barcelona, and Chelsea have the worst losses on the transfer market. We really need to fix up our transfers. Barcelona, it makes sense, because a bit like Arsenal, they've been wasting the money. Chelsea, I thought that would have been offset with a couple of their sales. You say hot and cold, a lot more cold than hot. I hear it. Partey back in full training. Hopefully, he can stay fit for longer than 2 minutes this time. Amen. But then even that, if Partey is fit, you know, some rumors say my man's been fit for a hot minute now and whatnot. Cool. But if to an ignorant fan he's fit now, how many minutes has he got in the tank? How able is he going to be able to last the duration? And like, how many minutes is he? Like, what is his true level? It's like all this Timber back stuff. I want Timber to return 100%, but you're going to have to give that man time to get up to speed with things. And you just wonder, had we have managed our finances more, could we have done everything we needed to do in the summer, so that in Jan we might say, you know what, if you can get a super player, get a super player. If not, I don't know. Yeah, Man United have definitely taken more losses than us, really. But I think that's because we ain't really been selling well, have we? Let's look at some of this transfer news. As you know, 99.9% of this is BS. But nonetheless, people, don't worry. Transfer window's soon done. We're on the 24th of January. Arsenal are one of the clubs interested in Karim Benzema and are currently talking to the player's entourage. It'll be an expensive loan, but it's not my money. If he can help make the difference, fair enough. The only question marks I would say, being devil's advocate, how committed would he be for 6 odd months? Because he's worked with big managers. He might look at Arteta like, you're a virgin, really. I'm not even preying your thing like that. I'm not taking in what you're doing. You know, obviously, what's his motivation? What is, for signing? He's achieved a lot, earned a lot of money. For devil's advocate purposes, is he going to be at his best? And physically, I don't know what the equivalent, Cristiano Ronaldo will tell you it's better than the French league, but what is the Saudi league's equivalent in England, for example? Is it Premier League level? Lol. Is it Championship? Is it League One? Is it League Two? So I don't know. Once a player is of quality, he's always of quality. But you get the point. Again, for every rumor linking us with Karim Benzema, you can see Karim Benzema is unhappy in Saudi Arabia and has asked to leave. However, his 85.9 a year wages pose a problem for any club wanting him. Now, Benzema and the Saudis know you ain't getting that elsewhere. The follow-up tweet was Benzema on reports he wants to leave Saudi Arabia. He said completely false. The French media don't know what to invent anymore. The bigger, the better. I hear that. And you're not wrong with that, really and truly. He's broken his silence. Once again, he's been linked with Arsenal, Manchester United, actually a return to Lyon, and so on and so forth. If we sell Tavares and Cedric, this Benzema thing happens, quote me later. I mean, he was buying Tavares, especially after what he's getting thingy for, and Cedric. Can't imagine we're getting too much. Now, football transfers, don't know if they know what they're talking about, but yeah, people. Arteta's Xavi Simons plan revealed as Neto remains Arsenal priority. Arsenal are chasing RB Leipzig attacker Xavi Simons, but the player on loan from PSG at the Bundesliga side remains a backup option to Wolves' Pedro Neto. I'm here for Xavi Simons, people. He can play as a left 8, can play out wide, ties in what we're doing. Very exciting player. You lot know I'm a big fan of Pedro Neto. Yes, when you think of Neto, you think of injuries, but his agent is George Mendes. We tried to get him before. Let's dot I's and cross T's and make it happen. Football transfers can confirm that the Gunners are indeed tracking Simons, who has 5 goals and 7 assists in 18 Bundesliga matches this season. But Neto remains the player that manager Mikel Arteta most covets. Arsenal have been tracking Neto for months, probably even years. The 23-year-old had been monitored by the Emirates club before sustaining a serious knee injury at the end of the 2020-21 campaign. And after finally rediscovering his best form this term, Arteta is ready to launch a summer transfer bid. They were exciting everyone in the summer. Neto has 8 assists in 12 Premier League games this season, plus 1 goal, while he's admired because of his versatility, so he can play on the left and the right. Arsenal will not have an easy run at the player. City are eager to sign the Portugal international, and Football Transfers has revealed that manager Pep Guardiola has instructed Neto's international teammates to talk him into a move to the Premier League Championship. Shouldn't need too much of a conversation. The only thing we could say is you're probably more likely to get games, but You know, you're going to listen to Fabio Vieira telling you to come to Arsenal. You're going to listen to Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, and all them man there. And respectfully to Arteta, clearly a great coach, where it seems like all the players are aroused by Mikel Arteta. Pause when he signs for us. But Pep Guardiola, what player wouldn't want to play under a once-in-a-lifetime manager? I don't know. No one's buying Cedric, inshallah. Marseille want Tavares, but Forest in the way. Fabio said this. Let's hope that we can come to a resolution. You only need 10 to 12 M's to loan Benny for 4 months, get it done if Saudis allow it. I'm not saying I'm against it because it's not my money, but I would say away from Benzema being a quality player, us needing a striker, and obviously it's Karim Benzema, could you argue that's a mismanagement of finances then? Because you're spending 12 million, which I wouldn't quite say is a transfer fee in today's day and age, on a 36-year-old that is not going to be here past this season, sorry. And also, if we hear you ain't got money, and you're doing that, does it kind of, I'm just being devil's advocate here, but does it kind of go against stuff? All this in the summer BS is club PR designed to smokescreen like Rice in the summer last Jan. Boy, if Arsenal go for any midfielders, where does Ethan, Patino and Skelly come in? Just going to need to wait on opportunities. And to be honest with you, you know, I'll back them all. Patino's probably the most ready for first-team football because he's significantly more experienced. But, you know, Partey, Jorginho, El Nene, they probably won't be here that long. So there could be gaps, people. Man City want to assure the 23-year-old that he'll be given a regular first-team football at the Etihad, a vital factor in determining where we'll move. Boy, go and look at that Nunes brother. He's not playing. Go and look at Calvin Phillips. It is with this in the background that Arsenal's interest in Simmons has stepped up. The 20-year-old Netherlands international possesses similar qualities to Neto in that he can operate off either flank, and though is more of a wide playmaker than a classic winger, Arteta has been impressed by what he's seen of the player. I mean, he did very well in the two games against us in the Europa League. The Dutchman, meanwhile, has not been beset by injury problems that have plagued Neto in recent seasons. Simmons has suggested that he's open to leaving PSG, where he re-signed from PSV last summer for just 4 million before he's obviously joined Leipzig to get first-team football. Apparently, he's rated at 36 million euros, people. You'd imagine we'd have to pay a lot more. It was calculated, including wages. Benzema's cost 38 million. So that's probably put that one there to bed. Team Talk allegedly has been informed that Mikel Arteta is willing to wait until the summer to bring in the perfect forward at Arsenal. A more likely addition for this month would be a defender who has the ability to play across all the back four. I wouldn't be against that, but it would be nice to have a striker, a winger, or a central midfielder. In addition, Team Talk has also stated that Southampton's Kyle Walker-Peters is a name Arsenal fans to keep an eye on over the next week. Let's see if that develops and gets into anything. If you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you do such. Apparently, Barcelona top worst players trading clubs, while Chelsea and Arsenal make it top 3. In brackets, net spending for non-academy players signed and transferred. So we need to get better at selling, really and truly, because we're not blessed with what Chelsea have. We don't have the dodgy things that Barcelona come with as well, people. Arsenal to compete with Chelsea for Napoli's Victor Osimhen. Me personally, I think he's Chelsea's and we get Tony. But for what it's worth, Arsenal has joined the race to sign Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, with the Nigerian international almost certain to leave Serie A this summer. A report from La Repubblica via Calcio Napoli 24 claimed that the Gunners will go head-to-head with Chelsea to land one of European football's hottest properties. Apparently, we've had his agents at London Coley once upon a time. I know he said that he would like to play in the Premier League one day, and recently came out and said he knows his next move. Me personally, I think Chelsea have dotted it in terms of dotting I's and crossing T's, but what do I know? I'm just a football fan. Apparently, you know, Napoli's president is resigned to the fact that his crown jewel will depart and that both interested parties are willing to meet the 130 million euro buyout clause. Osimhen has already stated his desire to play in England and told the news outlet at the Africa Cup of Nations, where he's competing with his country, that he had already chosen his future. Chelsea showed interest last January before the Nigerian international extended his current deal at the Serie A champions until 2026. Wasn't that this January that's just gone? I don't know anything though, people. Nuno Tavares is keen on a return to Marseille, according to RMC Sport, people. Apparently, long story short, we're all kind of, well, Marseille and Arsenal all kind of reliant on Nottingham Forest coming to the agreement. Apparently, Nuno Espirito Santo is not keen to allow him to leave mid-season. And if this is true, Arsenal did not include a recall clause in the deal. what's been going on there, really. On Victor Osimhen, Romano has said Victor Osimhen will complete the season at Napoli and then will leave in the summer. He believes his cycle at Napoli after great success there is done. Chelsea will be in the conversation as he's always been highly rated there. Keep an eye on Arsenal too, while there's always going to be interest from Saudi again. Let's see how it goes, but he's confirmed he'll be available on the market this summer and is keen to try a new experience. On Zubimendi, Arsenal fans have been asking me about Martin Zubimendi's situation once again, as some reports in Spain have claimed an agreement is already in place for the Real Sociedad midfielder to join the Gunners in the summer. However, my understanding remains that nothing is decided yet. Zubimendi is one of the players on Arsenal's list since last year, but the same is true for Onana and Douglas Luiz, who remain appreciated at the Emirates Stadium, so the story is absolutely open. Ben Jacobs on Joshua Zirkzee has said, in terms of possible signings, there's plenty of interest in Bologna's Joshua Zirkzee. The 22-year-old has 7 goals in 15 Serie A games this season. Arsenal and Man United are both tracking the Dutch forward with a view to the summer. Spurs could also enter the race. There remains some confusion over Zirkzee's 40 million euro summer release clause, but Bologna director Marco Di Vaglio insists it's only valid for Bayern Munich. A return to Bayern is unlikely, but not impossible. Man United are the only Premier League team to date to begin any formulative talk. So there you have that, people. On Benzema, for what it's worth, Romano said, for now, there's nothing ongoing between Karim Benzema and Arsenal. If something changes in the next days, if Arsenal decide to bid and try to sign Benzema, I'll let you know. But the reality today is that they're not working on this deal. In general, it's one to watch in the next days because of the tense situation with Benzema and Al Hittad. But for now, there's nothing to report on the move to Arsenal. I'll keep you updated, which I hope you do. We've seen that already. Arthur Okonkwo remain at Wrexham, people, on loan from Arsenal. If you care about that, we've frozen here. We've gone over Nuno Tavares attracting interest from Marseille. I mean, no release clause in the deal is a bit of a shambles from Arsenal, if I'm honest with you, because we could have avoided this very situation. Arsenal set aside transfer sum for Zirkzee, but Bologna look at Højlund price tag, which they should really. Arsenal set aside 50 million euros to sign him, allegedly, people. Apparently, United have also scouted him multiple times, but Arsenal have set money aside. We'll have to see exactly what's being said. He got 8 goals in 22 appearances this season. I'm sure he's got potential, but is that what we should be looking at? Obviously, if he signs for the club and shows his quality and is an emerging star, then why not? Once again, we've been linked with Kyle Walker-Peters. You know, Southampton are trying to achieve promotion to the Premier League. Would they want to lose a key player? 26-year-old. Not that Southampton is the furthest place away from London, but I'm sure he'd relish a return to London. Obviously, he's an ex-Spurs man, so he'd have to earn us over. Kyrill's been speaking about his future, which has probably tells you how boring it's been for Arsenal. Probably one of the most exciting periods, really, him and his agent talking. It's definitely nice, and I'm glad there's interest in me, but I'll focus on what is now. Besides, there have been no talks with me yet. So, yeah, we'll have to see. If we don't see significant improvement, might have to sell you in the summer. Again, reports in Spain have said Zubimendi is actually on the verge of agreeing a move to the Emirates Stadium. The Real Sociedad man will reportedly remain in San Sebastian for the rest of the current campaign before linking up with his new side in the summer, when the move will go through due to Premier League PRS restrictions. Believe it when I see it. Unfortunately, Kieran Tierney's injured, and if I don't know if they're keen on him, but could we get that involved there? Besiktas rumours with Jorginho won't go away, and Trabzonspor allegedly have made contact for the Italy international. So we'll have to see, but I wouldn't let you go in the summer. Okay, that's Zirkzee. See, I'm not trying to miss a beat for you lot, people. Zirkzee settings. Callum Wilson to Arsenal on loan. I wouldn't be against that, but that just tells you a silly season. Tierney's picked up another injury, and he faces a month out with another injury. And I mean, the people who think, oh, Ter can do no wrong, probably going to say that's why he's gone out on loan. In a recent report, it's been revealed that Arsenal are actively pursuing the acquisition of Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz. Arsenal reportedly making efforts to secure the signature of Luiz, signaling their intention to strengthen their squad. The report suggests Arsenal have already made multiple offers for Luiz in recent windows. This indicates a sustained interest. We know this. You're going to say anything new? Okay, probably not. Again, Kyrill's agent has said Kuba is an Arsenal player. There are no signs they want to get rid of him, and I don't think anything will happen in this winter window. Once again, Zirkzee's a man in demand. We all know Arsenal would love to sign, well, Arsenal fans would like to sign the 25-year-old Nigerian international Victor Osimhen. People not want to care about these fancy graphs, but yeah, if you can make sense of that, I'm sure it's positive stuff for him. Apparently, he averages 4.63 shots per 90, 0.84 non-penalty goals per 90, 2.81 shot creating actions per 90, and 8.14 touches in the up box per 90. Numbers that were far better than his peers across Europe's top 5 leagues, people. Fair enough, really and truly. Fair enough. So bring him to the carpet, whether it's Vlahovic, Toldi, Osimhen. We need a difference maker. Speaking of difference makers, these are the sort of brothers we should be signing. Liverpool and City are allegedly looking at Joshua Kimmich, whose contract runs out in 2025 and has aggressively been linked with PSG. I'm a big fan of Coop Miners. Apparently, Juventus are preparing a 40 million euro offer for the Atalanta midfielder, people. Don't shoot me. And I know he's out for 10 weeks and his form is inconsistent. And he's a free agent from Man United in the summer. Would you lot, I'm just being devil's advocate here, would you lot take Tony Martial? He's French. Arsenal fans, we love the French players. I'm not saying to do it, but could that be something? And that appears all the transfer news. Even Douglas Luiz, he has improved, but he looks better because we don't have a lot of world-class midfielders in the league besides City deep it. Do we need world-class midfielders, though? Or just we need men that are going to do the job? Xavi Simons has more potential than Saka and Gabby for me. I'm excited to see Xavi Simons and Zubamendi coming to Arsenal. It costs a lot of that. That Evan Nielsen player is average. I mean, he's been linked with us because he's a striker half doing the business for his current employer's Porto, innit? So it's easy to link Arsenal with strikers, man. Really and truly, if I'm honest. Simmons would be much better signing than Neto because the latter is too injury prone. Osimhen to Chelsea, all we know. It's not a waste. We don't use Tavares selling him for 7-8 M's covers Benzema's loan. If you go deep in the champs and battle for the league, that's not a waste. We don't even use Tavares. But it just says Marseille are trying to get him on loan, though. So if we can flog Tavares and make that happen and we win something, go and get it done, man. I'm with you with that, but I just can't put my hopes on it, man. How many Duff signings are we gonna get? Kai, Kirill, Lokonga, Tavares, Jorginho, Cedric, Vieira. Bit harsh on Jorginho. I think Jorginho's been a relative success. Obviously, he hasn't moved the needle. I think he's done just about what we paid for. I agree with Lokonga. Pardon me, very far cry from Yaya Toure shouts. Maybe when Yaya Toure is about 5 years of age. Tavares, wasted money. Kai Havertz, 65 million down the drain right now. Kirill, I like him, but it's hardly justifying his price tag. Fabio Vieira, the jury's still out for 30 million. And where Kirill and Vieira are concerned, haven't quite shown that they're reliable squad players, if nothing more. So I agree with that. We have too many passengers in this team. Only consistent players in this team is Gabriel, Rice, Saliba when it comes to 7 out of 10 performances each week. Kai and Kirill success, give them time. I'll give them time. I'll give everyone time, but you can't say they're success at this moment in time. There's no way on God's green earth you can say Kai Havertz and Kirill are successes for Arsenal Football Club at this moment in time. It's a lie. It's dishonest. We hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a lie. Arsenal need to stay well clear of Martial, not against Martial coming to Arsenal. I don't even want Osimhen. I don't think he fits into our style of play. Scoring goals, man. DG, do you think that Kyle Walker-Peters would be a good signing for Arsenal? Because I think there's better fullbacks than him that we could sign. Wouldn't be the greatest, but at the end of the day, it's a body and there's depth. And if anything happens to, Benjamin White, if anything happens to Zinchenko, obviously, I hope to see Timber, but I think we need to take our time with Timber. We will have Tomiyasu back at some point, but if you unfortunately, where Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney at Arsenal as well, and Partey are concerned, if you was, God forbid, if they were injured right now, or you just typed in their name, you're going to see Google just come up with injuries. So don't think anyone be surprised, man. Xavi Simons can't even start at PSG. Well, 16-year-old Zaire Emery starts at PSG. Simons is not a top talent. Otherwise, he'd be at PSG, not on loan. Football's a funny old game of opinions. I think that's a simplistic way of looking at it. Warren Zaire Emery is a very generational talent, but you're right. I don't understand why he's not at PSG. I think based on some of their players in and around their squad, he could do it. I'm here for it. I don't think you need to be a top talent or a world-class player. You just need to be half. There's many players we held in high regards that have won stuff that just do their job, if I'm honest. I'm grabbing Sesko, Zerki, and Benzema so they can learn from me for a year or two. Benzema will be about 38 or something. For me, I would like, if you're not going to get Osimhen or Vlahovic who are 24 and 25, I'm not against Ivan Toney, whether people rate him or not, or a 28-year-old striker. And then, the Ivan Fergusons of this world, you lot know I'm a big fan of Sesko. You get one of them, they can kind of be your development kind of strikers. If you could have Sesko and Toney or Osimhen or Vlahovic, you've got two forwards. Jesus can play up front if required as well as out wide. You probably wouldn't sign a wide man then. DG, do we lack ball carriers in our team? I think so. Probably, but then at the same time, I just think we lack them midfielders who just want to set the tempo of a game and regulate. Kai Havertz, maybe not well, but can carry a ball. Declan Rice can carry a ball. Odegaard ain't the strongest, but he can carry a ball. Savic, Odegaard, and Rice in midfield would be amazing. Savic has cashed out in Saudi, and he looks like another one that's angling for a move away. Fabio started the season really well. That injury came at a horrible time for him. It did, and you know what? Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe, had they have been fit Obviously, Arteta probably still wouldn't use them, but had they have been fit for longer, maybe, just maybe, when Havertz's form ain't been amazing, but he's somewhat settled, they might have got an opportunity. You know, I do think Fabio Vieira has joined Arsenal at the best and the worst time. The best time because we're getting better as a club. The worst time is when you join Captain Martin Odegaard there in the 10, Granit Xhaka in the 8. Now, fast forward, and obviously when he has been playing, typically he's playing out wide where it's never really going to happen out there. This season, whether we like it or not, politically, 65 million man has been brought in. He's going to play ahead of you. Odegaard's the captain. It's Pete D. Appreciate you, man. Here's a techie one. What if we finish first and second and Havertz ends up with better numbers than Xhaka? Awkward convo then? I mean, not really, because Xhaka's a better player, if I'm honest with you. And again, I guess there'd be some positive. You know, I want Havertz to work out. I don't think it is, but I want it to work out because he's better for my team. But that just tells me numbers ain't everything. You know, if we were to just look at statistics, better players probably look better than others, if I'm honest with you. I like Sesko, especially when you consider the price tag out of the likes of Osimhen. And I think he's got 50 million euro release clause. I thought we were at FFP limits. You guys are expecting January signings. Keith, I'm not expecting a damn thing. Expectations in life lead to disappointments. You know, I hope for the best. I prepare for the worst. 99.9% of these rumors are BS, as we know. And as we always say on this platform, big up you lot. Make sure you're subscribing and smash the like button. Journey to 70K. Until people are holding shirts and lying to us that I watched Arsenal when I was growing up and all those sort of things. Boy, I don't know. But that seems to be the theme of Fabio Vieira. He shows a bit of form, then he gets injured or he regresses. And I think there's too many players in this team that 3-4 games, they look good. But throughout the course of a 38-game period, like who's really consistent or really gives you a base level of performance? There's only a few in the team, if I'm completely honest with you. That's a lie, because, you know, we can't watch him. Sesko's struggling at this moment in time. But, yeah, I like him a lot. I'm allowed my opinion. I've been rating him. I like him. I like Ferguson. But I put them in the same kind of bracket as the Zerkis and things like that. They need time, really and truly. I don't think, if they sign for Arsenal tomorrow, we're going amazing right now. I think that's where Arsenal need the Osimhens, the Vlahovic's, the Tonys, and people kind of like that are at a certain stage in their careers, man. Shout yourself, coach. If Genoa qualify, do you mean Champions League? And City do, same owners who plays. We don't need signings. We've got Utes, Waters, Sosa, Ethan, Skelly. Listen, big up the youth, but you have to give them time to make mistakes, man. I'll take your word for it, B. Sesko is going to be a top player in a few years to come, but Arsenal will wait till he scores crazy amount of goals and then buy for 80 million plus. Wembley, here we come. Big up you lot. There's nothing wrong with Ivan Toney's age. I never said anything about him. As many people say, 28 and da-da-da-da. Jamie Vardy came into the Premier League at 28 years of age, and look at what he achieved. Obviously, with him being with Ivan Toney being 28, there's less years than if you got an Osimhen, a Vlahovic, a Sesko, a Ferguson, a Boniface, so on and so forth. And you probably have to. But if you're able in those couple of years that he's here to achieve something and find one of those guys for tomorrow, be great, really and truly, man. Any chance we can get a cheeky watch along for Liverpool Fulham? You're asking a lot, my guy. You're asking a lot, man. You're asking a lot, Chaos. I'm sorry, but at least Spurs City will be doing a watch along on Friday, man. So a couple days, bear with me, man. And then Tuesday we go again as well. Come on, Fulham, even though they're not going to do it. Arsenal still have a good, strong enough squad to the end of the season if they don't spend. But then you factor in potential injuries, suspensions, loss of form, game dynamics, fatigue. I don't know, man. It's very volatile. I just try to take Arsenal every game that comes. All I'm saying is if we sell someone, something's happening. Social joins, I'm holding you to that. I think all of us want to see something happen, but the dream, sadly, is free. The hustle is sold separately, man. So we'll literally have to see. It's actually crazy. Edu and Arteta have not brought through any academy players since they've been here. I feel it for the youngsters. Even Pep bringing some on. I would like Arteta to give debuts and utilize a bit more, 100%, man, because what are you telling these players, really and truly? They're stopgaps. And where you look at someone like Koza Dewberry or Waters, I don't know anything, but had they, maybe, you didn't hear it from me, maybe there's contracts on the table and there might be a reluctance. 100%, but our coach, I think, is very dangerous to use Bukayo Saka, Jack Wilshere, and Fabio Vieira as examples. They're exceptions rather than the rule, if I'm honest with you. Liverpool didn't exactly beat us with youths. They brought someone, but I hear you. I would listen. There is no one on YouTube that loves you footballers more than me. There's not someone that waffles about them more than me. There's not anyone on this YouTube platform that talks about Haaland more than me. But it's not going to happen. And I do think Arteta needs to do a lot more in that regards. Players need game time, 100%. Rather, man, bred in Fulham. I'm not bred in Fulham. You're the ops. You was bred in Crystal Palace. You lot had to cheat to beat them at their place in the season, mate. We beat them fair and square. Don't worry. Don't worry. You see, Marcel, you lot come to the Emirates. Make sure you don't lose. Make sure you don't lose. You see, Martinelli's got 2 goals. Trent's out for the rest of the season after he bucks Martinelli. He's pulling that hamstring. He's pulling that hamstring. Van Dijk's hair is going to fall out. Marcel, you wanted the reaction. There you have it. But on that note, though, people, I love every one of you apart from Marcel. I don't really want to waste my evening with him. But yeah, it's meant to be a quick video. It's time to get ready for 5-a-side. As usual, appreciative to you lot tuned in. You lot's comments, differences of opinions, engagement, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. It's appreciated. Make sure your notification bells are on because you know there's vids galore, people. And there'll be some to come online tomorrow. As usual, I hope you lot are doing well and safe. Hope your family's blessed. Hope you're all in good health. And you're having a great week, man. So let me allow you lot to enjoy what's left of your day or evening or afternoon or whatever. Appreciative to you lot locked in. One love.
Because you always use that active red flag defenders. I think it's like